Table manners. My father always ate at the head of the table with a fork and a knife. Table manners. When he was done, he would place his cutlery in the center, just slightly off skew. He would gently excuse himself. Table manners. My father taught us table manners, taught us to say in French, excusez-moi, taught us how to use our knives to work through a tough piece of crust. Back and forth and back and forth. He would wince if he ever saw me using brute strength with my dining implements. Table manners. My mother always championed my father's table manners, but rarely did I see her embody them. Instead, my mother ate with her hands. She would hit the mutton bones on the side of the plate and suck the marrow straight from it. She would pull the fish bones through her teeth like a piece of floss, being sure to suck on the head like a juicy mango seed. And she would use the top of her palm to wipe the plate clean, making sure to get every piece of onion, every piece of garlic, every last leaf, instructing us to do the same. Make sure you get all of this. Sorry, this is like, okay. Make sure you get all of it. She would hiss and tut and smack her lips in delight. No French, it was all pleasure. But table manners, it was always my father who had the table manners. Although, when my father was not around, my mother would take us away from the dining table and into the bedroom. On a hot summer's day with the AC whirring, she would serve us lunch on the floor. There, sitting cross-legged, my sisters and I would tear off freshly fried pieces of chapati and dip it into a curry rich with a red masala. No, it wasn't table manners of excusez-moi. It was something more important, something divine, something intimate, something you can't learn from a book. There in that bedroom, my mother was teaching us how to eat, how to be together, how to feel your food. But table manners, it was always my father who had the table manners. So I grew up parroting my mother's doublespeak, always calling the fork and the knife table manners and nothing else. Until years and years and years later, I was living in rural Cambodia. And the women who worked at the camp, they took a liking to me. Would you like to join us for lunch, they said. Nothing fancy. But to me, this was a divine invitation. Nobody else got invited to eat with these women. They normally ate fast, speaking even faster before moving on to the day's labor. But today, today the table was set. Huge bowls of leafy greens, fish sauce, broth, and rice noodles. But something was wrong. Their usually rapid leaf-tearing fingers were still. And then one of them began to pick up a spoon and a fork. And for some reason, I said, is it okay if I eat with my hands? And then laughter, and then the rapid kemai began again. Leaves were being torn off the vine, chopsticks were being plunged into the bowl. And I was back to being Eva, the slightly odd Indian who could be Asian like them, who could be country like them. There was a sigh that came over that table that made me so grateful to my mother for teaching me that table manners. Though none of them used or cared for the language of decolonization, it was happening there in that moment. And it makes me so mad to think that these women who had invited me to join them felt the need to use a fork and a knife for me, because I am my father's daughter as much as I am my mother's child. I savor the fine dining and the teapots and the chopsticks, and I relish those meals in which my cutlery is arranged in concentric circles of pretension. And I love the yes please and oh no thank you and do excuse me, as much as I love to eat on the floor with my knees folded. I like to bring a bowl of hot rasam up to my lips and drink it, saying, this is who I am. I am the one who knows which fork to use and the one who uses no fork at all. And it's because I'm able to move between these classes and cultures that I know that superiority is a really sad and limited concept. That all there is context and culture. So tonight I invite you to ask the question about your table manners. Where did you learn your table manners? And what about the other kinds of table manners? The right way to eat, the right way to do business, the right way to raise a child, and maybe just the right way to smile. As you travel through these foreign lands, can you hold some space in your heart? Can you have some compassion for my mother, who continued to eat as her mother taught her, while perpetually praising that which she was not? It is complicated and tough. Can you take a moment and understand why the words manners and civilized is not always straightforward and not always truthful? Complicated and tough, this process of decolonizing our minds, our souls, our hearts is complicated and tough. But when you get stuck, can you take a moment and remember me and remember table manners? Thank you.